Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy popping all that bull. I be seeing Jimmy talking about, we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store. Talking about, we Gucci boo boo. Them like King niggas was going fuck up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Monero.
Recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy.
Big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you.
Jimmy was not a rapper then.
Right.
He was your man, like on the side, like in the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's like
Jim Jones has become the target of 50 Cent's ire following a contentious statement. Jim asserted that he has made more cultural contributions and is a superior rapper to Nas during an appearance on Fat Joe and Jadakiss podcast. The audacious comments provoked criticism and...
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy popping all that bull. I be seeing Jimmy talking about, we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store. Talking about, we Gucci boo boo. Them like King niggas was going fuck up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Monero.
When you think about it, the rapid rise in tension is kind of crazy. Jim was a legend when he praised Nas. What, then, caused him to change so abruptly? There are rumors circulating that Jay-Z may be working behind the scenes. Furthermore, this isn't just any old rap drama. Jim is being directly accused of being Jay's puppet by 50 Cent. The suspicion is only increased by the time. Jim tossed shade to Har's interview 4 years ago.
He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that and Camp be that, and looked at, and it was finally, he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew, I just took the shot murder to see, because I wasn't sure he was going to go for it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. Then you got to watch and see how he was talking. And then when you see, you're like, oh, he really like that. Give me this, give me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at this show, Jimmy. Yeah, but that was one of those things I just threw it out and see what. And then when he bit to it, because it was like he was having a moment that not sure that was going to ever happen again at that point. And then he's going, for them, they have records that where, look, I always say this to certain artists, I go, damn, when is he going to have his moment? Like,
calling Jay his big bro. Come on, after making fun of him whenever he had the chance. That change now appears dubious. Let's go back to the beginning of the storm. Jim got down to discuss hip-hop songs with Fat Joe and Jadakiss. Joe brought up the claim made by the younger generation that Jim has contributed more to hip-hop than Nas. Jim rushed with it rather than remaining modest. These new kids don't even know Nas, he continued, laughing. Then redoubled, asserting that his impact was much greater. Please don't misunderstand. Dipset was in control of an entire era. They altered the style, swag, and sound. Without a question. But when Jim began boasting, he didn't even acknowledge the diplomats. He gave the impression that he carried Harlem by himself. The expression on Jadakiss' face dropped. He appeared as though he had just heard of the year's largest out-of-pocket take. Jadakiss did not even have to speak. "Stop the cap," was yelled by his stillness. Everyone is aware that Nas is a true legend. However, it wasn't until Bowling hit the charts that Jim began to gain genuine respect in the rap industry.
Recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy.
Big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying, Nas is like a god.
In my era too. I mean,
so to be compared,
let me
that young kid out.
Let me.
He was young, and we loved that he loved Jim Jones. I want you to break it down.
Let's break this down. I admired Nas. But remember, Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade.
The same individual who only met Nas a year ago is now asserting that he is a superior artist. That's not confident. Come on. That is just ego. Jada maintained her composure. However, as Jim continued to make his audacious statements, his expression was one of utter astonishment. Within hours, that footage went viral on all of the main artist feeds. Jim didn't mince words when he declared that he was more relevant than Nas ever was, had better bars, a sharper flow, greater impact, and could out-rap Nas, even if he supported it with statistics. Billboard peaks, Spotify streams, and viral hits. It came across as unadulterated ego rather than confidence. Generations have been inspired by Nas, the legend, including Jim when he was younger. However, Jim began to view Nas less as an idol and more as an adversary as he advanced in the game. Even Jadakiss was surprised when Jim boasted about carrying Harlem by himself and downplayed the Diplomat's impact. She remained silent as though to scream, "Stop the cap." Nas supporters retaliated fiercely, mocking Jim's disdain and sharing recordings of Nas' timeless hits. This feud is not brand new. Since Nas criticized Dipset in the early 2000s and even made fun of Cameron's Come Home With Me album, it has been simmering. Jim and Jay-Z's feud has gotten much messier in the interim. Once adversaries, Jim abruptly changed tactics and began praising Jay-Z, raising serious suspicions after public shots were fired and even a violent altercation involving Jay's close pals. Jim and Cam think Jay shoved Rock A aside after he gained control after using Harlem-style tactics to promote him. Many people are doubting Jim's allegiance and motivations because of his back and forth, which included labeling Jay soft, barring Harlem from the empire, and then pleading for a Rock Nation agreement. Jim has never been trusted by 50 Cent, who publicly humiliated him during the Gunnet vs. Dipset feud by calling him opportunistic. Given the current Cold War between 50 and Jay-Z, Jim's abrupt compliments of Jay and criticism of Nas appeared to be a part of a larger power struggle. Jim is viewed by many as a pawn in Jay's game who causes havoc while Jay remains sober. Jim Jones is frequently seen as a lower-tier hip-hop artist in spite of his assertions, someone who hasn't solidified his legacy yet. There is a sense of respect in this competitive sport, and a lot of people concur that Jim Jones is still yelling from a bench rather than captaining the squad. "You seem to be the 9th person on the bench. I don't even give a damn about you. You still have to listen to me speaking to you in 2025. Regardless of the story you or others try to tell, whether you're a hype guy, a bad rapper, or just getting started, I doubt that what I did for Nas has ever been done before. Throughout his career, he has never been more talked about or gone viral. Nas last experienced this level of attention when he was likened to 50 Cent and Jay-Z, and 50 is not at all duped. He realized something cunning was going on as soon as he learned of Jim's partnership with Jay-Z. 50 Cent wasted no time at all. He immediately went to Instagram and did what he does best, calling Jim out in the most vicious manner possible by posting videos, memes, and captions that mock Jim for selling out and changing sides in order to remain relevant. Jay-Z has referred to him as the industry's favorite puppet control, pulling the strings and doing the hard labor that he refuses to perform himself. Jim had some problems, so he wasn't even featured in the NFL commercial. There was communication. Even if he is unsure of the specifics with Noy claimed that Jay informed him that without 50, the white boy Eminem wouldn't tell the truth. Eminem called him personally, stating that he couldn't do it without 50, and 50 verified this. When the internet caught fire, fans dug up previous interviews where Jim praised Nas as one of the finest and said that Nas inspired his hustle. Everyone became perplexed all of a sudden. Was Jim the hater or a fan of Nas? Memes went viral as the act began to appear phony. While Jim sought influence and controversy, Nas remained composed, producing timeless bars, winning Grammys, and going about his business as usual. 50 threw jabs at Jim and enjoyed every second of it. Constantly crisp and surgical, sometimes smooth, sometimes direct. He even said Jim dissed a legend just to catch his boss's attention. The conversation then changed. It seems that Jim starts to see himself with a gay painter, and things start to get gloomier. There were rumors that Jim was pressured by ROC Nation to incite the Nas controversy as a publicity gimmick. If that's the case, it's business, not simply personal. Clicks, streams, and headlines are all correlated with controversy. Furthermore, nobody has narrative control like Jay-Z. Jim is merely a disposable pawn on Jay's chessboard. If 50 is correct. 50, however, didn't merely speak. He uncovered tales of Jim pleading for meetings and features only to be wooed by well-known individuals, shattering the tough Harlem boss persona Jim presents and demonstrating his need for respect from those who never offered it. Rap is no longer as important as this. It all comes down to pride, legitimacy, and applicability. Jim battles to establish his place among the legends. But each move he makes adds 50 more rounds of ammunition to help him get through the mud. According to 50, a real boss keeps their hands clean even when they do doubt. The truth about the industry is shown in that line. Jay-Z has a ghostly gait. Calm, acute, impenetrable, and like a chess genius, calculating every move. Jay has demonstrated that power is quiet by locking out his own Rockefeller brothers and by stealing Biggie's blueprint. It is strategic and silent. He is more than just a gamer. He is the owner of a board. Examine the pattern. Cameron was restrained by Dame Dash, who was iced out. Jim and Nas are now rekindling their feud, but Jay maintains his composure and acts as though he had nothing to do with it. Jay is known for letting people get dirty while leaving immaculately, bag in hand, and appearance untarnished. It's great, but it's freezing. 50 doesn't work with either of them because of this. To him, loyalty is everything. He also believes that Jim and Jay breached that code a long time ago. Eminem, who has been steadfast from the beginning and has never changed sides or buckled under duress. It's another reason why 50 rides hard for him. In response to reports that Jay attempted to prevent 50 from playing at the Super Bowl halftime performance, Eminem declared, "If 50 isn't performing, then I'm not performing either." Loyalty money cannot purchase that. Respect is a real commodity, yet fame wanes. Numbers decline and trends change. The streets are divided over who is actually in control of this chessboard, and tensions are now rising. While some argue that 50 is stirring things up, others think it's revealing something genuine. Jim's recent actions, such as showing up at Roc Nation events, befriending Jay's group, and implying new collaborations, seem too convenient. Supporters question whether it's survival or loyalty mode. According to industry insiders, Jay is using Jim as a diversion from his larger project. A new streaming endeavor, perhaps? Having one of the loudest voices in Harlem steel drama with Nas is the ideal approach to keep Jay's name in the public eye. It's marketing through chaos, and it's successful. Jay receives the limelight without actually dealing with the situation, while Jim receives interviews, headlines, and streams. Meanwhile, Nas stays silent, busy crafting his next project and enjoying his King's Disease legacy. No discord can penetrate that quiet. Evidence that Nas is not required to reply. Despite all the commotion, Nazi's catalog is louder, but 50 Cent isn't letting it go. He has been posting dubious captions about phony gangsters who have forgotten who made them attractive. With the internet deciphering every word, fans also tagged Cameron in the conversation, asking whether he would talk about Jim's loyalty flip. Some of us learned the hard way who's really family was one of the cryptic notes that Cam, being Cam, wrote. You can feel the tension, betrayal, and unresolved issues. The speed at which a narrative changed is astounding. Jim is defending the heritage of Harlem one moment. He defends Jay-Z like his manager in the following one. The visuals are poor. Jim might have fallen into the trap he had previously warned people about, if 50. It's correct. And this entire situation is a setup. Yes, Jim is currently in the news. However, Jim is standing on a foundation that Nas constructed. You cannot become great by trolling others. It requires consistency, legacy, and time. Nas has earned respect for decades by creating timeless songs that influence future generations. As Nas makes history, Jim is attempting to become viral, and that's a completely new power level. Don't misunderstand. 50 is calculating, not merely observing. Each post, meme, and jab against Jim conveys a more significant message. This new wave of industrial politics is corny. To remain relevant, real ones don't stage alliances or feuds. Supporters are divided. To keep it raw, some people bike with $50. People support N4 remaining grounded. Others believe Jim is only acting in this ruthless game to live. It's hip-hop drama at its best. Messy, laid back, and unadulterated. People are debating in the web comments over who is the opportunist, who is a true legend, and who is just a pawn in Jay-Z's empire moves. History is being repeated. Clashing of egos. Alliances are changing. Reputations are at stake. Jim is currently battling to prove that he is more than just a pawn. He's in his 50s and wants to remind everyone that he's still the best at exposing industry fraud. Nas is letting his work speak louder than all the noise as he sits back unconcerned. How long until one of them releases a diss track and escalates? His subdued tension into a full-fledged lyrical battle is the actual question. It's your tone now. Which side of this crazy story are you on? Do you think Jim is actually standing on business, Team 50, or Team Nas? Hit that like button, write your opinions in the comments, share with your people, and don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you at the following one.